Welcome to the truth. Yes? 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 Oh, come on! Yes! Damn! Now, I know that sounded like some kind of newspaper. Welcome to the truth, to the news. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today. I think we've all noticed a little bit that things are not going very well right now in terms of our communication skills. What we put out in the world is harsh. The way that we communicate is bad. I think the reason why that is the newspapers or the TVs, the TV newspapers, the news channels. The way that our world is built is not the best way to get our communication across in an efficient way, which leads to a lot of misunderstandings. I was just going through a thread about the fake ballots for the election. And some dude went through all the claims and debunked them, and linked to all the stories. But before you know it, before those stories had been debunked, they were being shared everywhere. And weirdly enough, the debunks of those stories are not being shared everywhere, which is a problem. It's simply like it's the common thing that happens, we made a mistake, but the retraction is written in tiny letters and nobody reads that one. And newspapers and the news channels are aware of this. They know. And they're doing it on purpose. They do it for the views or for the clicks or for your attention. And quite frankly, I'm tired. I'm tired of the way that they get away with things for money. Let's be honest here. A lot of people will say, well, all newspapers are partisan. They all have a side. And I heard this recently from someone. Someone was like, we all know this. Every newspaper must pick a political side, kind of. I don't think that's entirely true, but everyone has opinions. I can agree with that. But that's not my problem. My problem is not that you have an opinion. My problem is that you're exacerbating the problem for money. So a good thing to know when you're reading an article or when you're watching a news channel is that money is a factor. And one of the big trends of I suppose it's since I'm born, I don't know. I was born in 1990. And in the late part of the 20th century. I'm assuming because of the world wars and because of the devastation that brought, not just to the physical things, but to our mental state and how we perceive the world. And then all the subsequent things like the Cold War and it made us a little negative about the world, about everything in general. There's nothing wrong with seeing what could be improved. And for that, you must see the bad thing. If you see what's wrong, you can make it better. But rarely in today's news is news brought to you with the intention to make it better. What the news wants is to get your attention. And you have to separate those two things. They expect you to make it better, but the news is the news. We just report the facts. But do they? For instance, let's forget all the coronavirus. Let's go back before the coronavirus stuff, yeah? I live in London, and in London, sometimes there are crimes. Like in many places in the world. And sometimes those crimes are murder crimes. And that's a very sad thing. And I'm very sad that people have to die. Killed. However, the way that the news reports it is a little biased or a little focused. And this is why. There are 10 million people in London. Of those 10 million people, there are 1, 2 at best. And that's not good, but it's just 2 crimes reported every day. Now that's a lot of people dying overall still. But there are 10 million people in London. Now what does that say about the news? It shows you that they will focus on that one person dying. They'll talk about it for easily 10 minutes on a 1-hour segment, for instance. So of the news, you're going to have 1/6 of that news of the day that is going to be reserved to one of the 10 million people. One story in 10 million that live in London. Now, as long as you come in with this fresh perspective, like, this is just one story. Sad. Like Trump. Sad. Let's try to work on, crime and things like that. Let's try to be kinder to one another. Maybe I can donate to an organization or something. That's great. And then you go back to your day and lovely. You have a lovely day because the rest of life is lovely. But that's not what happens, is it? What happens is you go, the world is so violent. Oh my God. So much knife crime. So much crime. But in fact, when you look at the trends, crime is going down and has been going down, I think, for 20 years or something like that. Immigration in the US, illegal immigration has been going down for 20 years. Nobody talks about that. Overall, everything's going down. The news has less and less to say. And so, to survive, they talk more and more about this tiny fraction of the negative stuff they know you'll click on. However, there is a solution. There's a solution that can help everyone. The reason why you click on negative things is not because of some deep-rooted negative thing, an evolutionary principle or something like that. That's what some evolutionary biologists might talk to you about. They might say, well, it's because we were focused on surviving, and if you notice all the positive things, that's great. But if you notice all the negative things, you survive. Another way of saying it, if you notice a lion that's about to attack you in the plains of Africa and you survive, then you can give your genes. But if you don't notice, then you die. So the people who are alive today are the people who survived against the lions, and therefore they had this negative attitude of noticing all the things that were wrong. However, I'd like to counter that a little bit. I haven't done any studies, I have to admit, but I do know that we like to live together. In fact, you could even say that quite a while ago, when they lived in tribes and they were fighting lions, they still had tribes, and they still had to learn how to live together. They had to learn how to live, in fact, simply live. To live, you must enjoy your life. And to enjoy your life, you must be able to be positive about it. Despite our friend dying from the lion attack the other day, we can still have a feast off his dead carcass. Let's be positive. Our friend has died, but we killed the lion. So in fact, negative and positive are both necessary to be able to live. Because no one wants a party pooper. No one likes the dude who's always angry. We like the dude who's confident. And to be confident, you must be positive enough. So why is everyone negative today? My guess, and it's a guess, is that there was a trend that was started. On purpose or not, the trend started to be negative about things. I come from France. It's everywhere in France. People are negative, overly negative, than positive. If something might go wrong, they'll point it out, but they'll never point out the reasons why it might go right. This is somewhat similar in London, although in London, it's balanced out a little bit more. It's a little bit more neutral, but people do complain. I'm attracted to mentalities where people don't try to complain about all the things that could go wrong, but they try to focus on the things that could go right. I like that. And that happens a lot, I think, in America. However, lately, I think the European mindset, and maybe even the scientific mindset, and I'm not saying science, okay? I'm not saying the scientific method. I'm saying the scientific mindset, meaning the people who are doing the scientific method have a tendency to think this way, and that is their mindset. That has crossed over to America, and people are starting to be overly negative. This is just my opinion. I don't know what you think. You also have a duty to not be negative about everything, to see the light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, to not stress about things. You've been stressed during this election, maybe. This 2020 presidential election. Why? All you can do is cast your vote and wait. Why are you stressed? The result isn't even in. Wait till the result comes in, then you can be stressed or not, or relieved, depending on who you are, on what you voted for. Why would you be stressed? There is no reason to. In fact, it is in your evolutionary interest to not be stressed about this election because there is nothing to lose. All you have to do is wait. When the results come in, then you can make choices. Then you'll have something to lose or to gain. But until then, what's the point? So you're choosing to be negative. You are letting it get to you. You're letting them get to you as well. What I do now is I don't click anymore on any devastating news. And there was a knife attack 2 days ago in France. 3 days ago, I can't remember. 2 people were killed. And it's terrifying. And I'm hearing about it from people. And I never clicked once on an article on my phone. Never clicked. Not once. I don't care. Someone died. It's sad. You know how many people die of cancer every year? Do you know how many people die of the flu every year? I'm not even talking about coronavirus. The flu. Of old age. You're caring about shocking things for shock value itself. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to change your attitude somehow because you learned someone died? No. It's one person died. Well, where's that angry attitude against all the viruses of the world? Against the cancer? You know what causes cancer, right? Cigarettes cause cancer. Where's all the violence against all the cigarettes? No, you're probably a smoker. Aren't you? Maybe some of you aren't, okay. You're feeling smug right now. He's telling off all the smokers. We're all a little responsible for what we see and how we discuss things. And I would like you to focus a little more on something positive. It's sunny right now. Where I am, it's sunny. It's been raining all the time. I could be angry about elections, but I'm going to focus on something good. And it doesn't mean that I can't say, I don't like this, I don't like that. I'm talking to a camera, for Christ's sakes. I'm talking to a camera instead of a person. I'd love to talk to a person, but I can't. That's my life. I'll make it eventually. Until then, I've just got to deal with what I've got. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. And take care. I'll see you next time. Damn!